Dr. Now has seen it all. Patients who lie to his face, who gain weight after surgery, or who refuse to take any responsibility at all for their situation.
I asked you, did you believe in God?
Yes, I believe in God. But what I'm saying is that God doesn't just magically take away the consequence of your bad choices.
He is not a man who gives up easily. In fact, he'll bend over backwards to give a patient every possible chance to turn their life around.
You're not able to get up, you're not walking, and you're eating the same thing, you're not losing any weight. We give you time to change your eating habit, and what miracle are you expecting to happen?
But every once in a while, a patient just refuses to get with the program and simply cannot be helped. From missing appointments, to blowing their diet, to blatant disrespect. These are the patients who push the needle too far. And when Dr. Now is done, he is done.
So here's the situation. You lose 30 pounds in 1 month to get you back in program.
Dr. Now had given Shanae a clear goal: lose 30 pounds in 1 month. Simple, non-negotiable, and by Dr. Now's standards, generous. She came back 2 months later, having gained 28 pounds instead. And when Dr. Now sat her down to find out what happened, Shanae had an answer ready.
You're at 693, and that is a 28-pound weight gain.
Yeah.
So you want to explain to me how this happened?
I have a lot of fluid in my legs.
Dr. Now didn't even flinch. He's heard the fluids excuse numerous times. So Shanae reached for her backup.
So what happened 2.5 months ago?
Just stress.
What kind of stress do you have?
Marital stress.
Dr. Now was having none of it. A month later, instead of showing up to her appointment, Shanae checked herself into a hospital, claiming severe stomach pain. But what the doctors found after running tests is that she'd been taking water pills. For anyone unfamiliar, water pills are medications designed to flush excess fluids from the body. Shanae was taking 5 times the recommended safe dose. And if that wasn't enough, hospital staff caught Freddie, her husband, sneaking in burgers and pizza.
What about Freddie?
That belongs to Freddie.
Shanae, the lying need to stop now. Okay, Shanae? Here's the situation.
Okay.
For 4 months, I have seen you from day one. You haven't lost any weight.
So, Freddie supposedly sat in that hospital room, opened a full pizza, and ate every single slice while Shanae watched. That's the story they're going with. Even after all that, Dr. Now gave her one final chance. And for a brief moment it worked. But the second she was released to go home, the old habits came back. She skipped every therapy session, missed her appointment, and when Dr. Now finally reached her by phone, it was the same excuses all over again.
Well, I believe in God, and I believe that God is going to take me as far as he wants me to. He put me on this earth. If he wants me to have this surgery, he will. And if he doesn't, I won't.
Shanae continued to miss her appointments and went a step further to block Dr. Now's number.
Please leave your message.
Yeah, Freddie, this is Dr. Nuzart, and Shanae missed her appointment, didn't show up, and I'm calling to find out what's going on.
Unlike Shanae, we're not relying on God's help. We're relying on your hype. Please hit that hype button and subscribe to Living Large for more sugar-free goodness.
Is this a lifestyle of a human being? This is a miserable lifestyle. And you got him into this shape, and you blaming everybody and him.
At close to 800 pounds, James was completely bedridden. His wife, Lisa, and his daughter did everything for him. He arrived at Dr. Now's program in desperate need of intervention. And Dr. Now delivered. James is admitted to the hospital, placed on a controlled diet, and loses 50 pounds. Days after being released from the hospital, he's readmitted with heart failure. His heart was literally giving out under the weight. And yet the moment he stabilized and sent home, the unhealthy eating continued.
Food.
Got it. Well, at least maybe that'll take care of your headache.
You gonna give me one little rig roll?
I gave you 2.
Oh, this stuff is good.
And then James simply disappeared. 4 months go by without a single appointment. For most doctors, that's where the story ends. Dr. Now isn't like most doctors. He got in his car and drove to James's house. Dr. Now walked in, and one look at James tells him everything he needs to know. The weight hasn't gone down. If anything, it's gone the other way. James is transported to the hospital to get weighed, and the number is impossible to ignore.
382.6 kilograms, 840 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Are you sure that's accurate?
On the bed scale.
I can't believe I've gained that much weight.
Dr. Now confronts both James and Lisa directly and doesn't soften a single word.
We had you here in the hospital for a month, and at that time we have you down to 786. So hopefully you see the difference between what you are doing and how you should be doing it. But we still haven't resolved the issue for almost a year.
Dr. Now gave them one final chance. James did enough to get sent home. But the real test is what happened next. 2 months later, he walked back in, and the scale told Dr. Now everything he needs to know. The work wasn't done. It was never going to be done.
So you are 788 pounds. This is mind-boggling. You're still not losing weight and you're gaining again. I don't want to hear any more excuses. I'm done.
James had his wife enabling him every step of the way. And Lisa Fleming from season 6 had a boyfriend doing the exact same thing.
It is clear that you need weight loss surgery. But we need to get you to Houston before we can determine what is possible for you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It took 7 paramedics to get Lisa Fleming out of her Texas home, because at around 700 pounds and completely bedridden, moving her required a small team. That's where Lisa's story began, and it only got more complicated from there. At that first weigh-in, Dr. Now admitted Lisa to the hospital immediately and put her on a controlled diet. After a few weeks, she made real progress and was released with one instruction: lose 30 pounds in a month. By her next appointment, she came back having gained weight instead. And when Dr. Now sat her down and asked the one question that mattered most, her answer was immediate.
I gave you a simple goal to lose 30 pounds. Instead, you gained 30 pounds. If you stuck to the diet, you would have lost that in 2 weeks. So you're playing games and lying to me, saying you're not hungry.
So Dr. Now put her back in the hospital on a controlled diet. Progress was slower than it should have been for someone under full medical supervision, which made Dr. Now suspicious. And then right in the middle of their conversation, something underneath her caught Dr. Now's attention.
Lisa, stop it. This is the junk you've been eating. This is why you're not losing any weight. Herbert is sneaking in junk food for you, and you two keep lying about it.
Lisa finally made it back home, but a few weeks later, her leg pain flared up again, landing her back in the emergency room. Dr. Now could tell that Lisa wasn't making any lasting progress, and he wanted answers.
Just send me home! Get me out of here! Send me home! I don't care no more!
But Dr. Now wasn't satisfied. He got Lisa examined and came back with more questions. And right in the middle of that exchange, Lisa said something that changed the entire tone of the room.
I would have been because this is all the stuff that's up here.
Lisa, this is just a game to you. So you want to die, is that what you're saying?
Having thoughts of ending your life was not something small, and Dr. Now does not dismiss it. He sends a therapist in immediately to conduct a full psychiatric evaluation. But when the results came back, the conversation with Lisa took a very different turn.
So as of right now, you're no longer on the program.
The evaluation came back clean. And with that, Dr. Now closed Lisa's file for good.
I'm 37 and I know I'm over 600 pounds, but I don't even know my exact weight right now. But we know things are getting worse, and I'm getting to a really bad place that scares me.
Dominic was around 670 pounds, homeless, and living in a van with his brother James. And despite all of that, he traveled all the way from California to Texas just to see Dr. Now. Dr. Now gave him a target, and Dominic came back having lost weight. Not enough, but given his circumstances, the fact that he lost anything at all says something.
Think you should be having easier time losing weight. So there is no excuse for your overeating other than you just want to do it.
Dr. Now was lenient. He encouraged him, reset the target, and asked him to start therapy. Dominic's brother, James, eventually picked up some short-term work, and they managed to move into a long-stay hotel, one with a kitchen. For the first time, Dominic had the tools to make a real change. But by his fourth appointment months later, he came in having gained weight instead. And then Dr. Now said something that nobody in that room or watching at home saw coming.
But otherwise, unless you start to lose weight, we don't need to do these appointments. And I'm not going to give you another go. But if you decide to get serious and start losing, let me know.
Dr. Now told Dominic there was no point continuing with the program if the weight wasn't going to move. And just like that, Dominic was out. Now, if I have to be honest here, of all the patients removed from this program, Dominic is the one I was rooting for the most. We've seen patients gain massive amounts of weight, miss appointments, argue with Dr. Now repeatedly, and still get another chance. I think Dominic deserved that same grace, don't you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should Dr. Now have given him another chance? Dominic's removal was hard to watch, but it's hard to feel the same sympathy for the next one.
Like 5 years ago, I fell and broke my knee, so I went to the hospital, and that's when I got the motorized wheelchair.
LaTanya had actually been to see Dr. Now before. Years before her episode aired, she had an appointment with him, but walked away from the program. So when she came back, Dr. Now already knew who he was dealing with, and LaTanya wasted no time reminding him. At 37 years old and 631 pounds, her health was in serious decline. Severe lymphedema in both legs, a heart under enormous strain, and a body that was rapidly running out of time. Dr. Now gave her a target to lose 40 pounds in a month, but LaTanya came back having gained 4 pounds instead. Her excuses were immediate.
You're deflecting the situation by saying you have pain. Yeah, you should have pain because you are 636 pounds.
Dr. Now stood across from her and delivered one of the most direct assessments yet.
5 years since you tried to get help, and you're worse off more than ever now because you're lying so much to yourself you believe that you lie.
Dr. Now admitted her to the hospital, put her on a controlled diet, and in 2 weeks, she lost some weight, proving once again that the capability was always there. But a month after she went home, the weight came back. And when she returned for her next appointment, the result was exactly what everyone expected. When Dr. Now sat her down to find out what happened, LaTanya reached for the same familiar playbook.
No point in you coming down here anymore and going through the motions when it is clear that you're not going to change at all. But unless that happens, then we are done.
And that was the end of LaTanya's journey with Dr. Now, which sadly led to her passing just 3 years later in 2025. If you want to know the full story of what happened to LaTanya and others from my 600-pound life who didn't make it, check the description below for that video. Shakia arrived at Dr. Now's office weighing 655 pounds with a BMI well over 100. Dr. Now gave her a clear target: lose 50 pounds in 2 months and attend therapy. She did none of it. The therapy sessions never happened. She missed her follow-up appointment, and when Dr. Now tried calling, no response.
I left several voice messages, and you never called back, and so I didn't know what was going on with you.
By the time Dr. Now finally got through to her, 5 months had passed without a single check-in. And when Dr. Now reached her, Shakia's explanation stopped him immediately.
What happened?
They said that I had respiratory failure. When I woke up off the ventilator, I lost my ability to walk. So, my mom was unable to take care of me, so she sent me to hospice.
How long you were sick?
For about a couple of months.
So, Dr. Now doesn't close the door. Shakia had recovered from her illness, reached out, and went to a local clinic to get weighed. But when she called Dr. Now with the results, he was not impressed.
You never followed the therapy and talked to them.
I had to go into hospice and I was unable to.
You got a lot of excuses, Shakia.
He gave her one final chance with a weight loss goal of 50 pounds in 2 months. But 2 months later, the callback doesn't go the way Shakia hoped.
You can do however you want, but don't move here thinking that's going to matter for the program, okay?
And that's what makes Dr. Now one of the most remarkable people on television. He shows up, tells the truth, and gives every single patient every possible chance to turn their life around. But when they refuse to take that chance again and again, he walks away. Because at some point, the only person that can save you is you. Which patient on the list frustrated you the most? For more of Dr. Now's best moments ever, check out this video coming up next.